Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Investigation launched. Apprehend the criminals. Is that what the headline's going to read the next couple days when it comes to what took place in that ring, outside of the ring, leading up to the fight, with the secret society and everybody involved with making sure the Errol Spence fight and Terrence Crawford fight took place for their own monetary gain? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, take things with a grain of salt, right? But there's a video floating around out there where there's an individual who is talking about what he saw when he looked at Errol Spence and how he's saying he feels there's some residual neurological damage. And all that's cool to give your opinion, right? I don't have an issue with that. But I'm telling you right now, I don't think that this is going to fall on deaf ears. Now, this person who claimed to be, maybe he was I don't know, maybe that's his field of study, okay? He sounded like he knew what he was talking about. But I take everything with a grain of salt. You know, it's called trust but verify. But at the same time, I want to say this. The only thing I have issue with that he said, right? Because what he said was pretty, it was a bit eye-opening, but I take it with a grain of salt because who is this person? My thing is this. We talk about investigation being launched if the secret society allowed Errol Spence to go into a fight knowing he had this residual neurological damage, or knowing that he wasn't, that he was physically compromised as a result of the car accident and shouldn't have continued with his boxing career, right? If there's truth to that, and he said Errol Spence has to know that he had this neurological damage, he said that he believes there are physicians who basically they found a doctor or someone, right, to make sure that the test was passed, the medical physical was passed, so Errol Spence could go and fight. He said he was even talking about how this doctor, the ringside physician, got into the ring. He said because he knew, this is what this guy said, because he said that doctor and everyone knew that Errol Spence shouldn't have been, basically saying he shouldn't have been fighting. Now, I'm paraphrasing. And he was trying to point out, like, when have you seen a doctor get in the ring? Normally they stand on the ring apron and they're talking over the rope. They never get into the ring. The guy wouldn't, he said normally see someone get hit in the shot, eye swelling, whatever. They come to the doctor, he looks at the eye, but you never see a doctor get in the ring like that. And he was saying the reason the doctor was doing that and taking all those precautions, those measures to make sure to see what's going on with Errol Spence, he said because they knew that Errol Spence shouldn't have been fighting. Now, when we talk about investigation launch, let me tell you something. If there was no secret society activities going on, right? Because I truly believe the secret society exists. You know, I talk about it all the time. But let me tell you something. This individual, this medical expert, if he doesn't know what he's talking about, because he didn't say, hey, you know, there's always a possibility of something. No, he was making statements like what he was saying was a fact. And I think if an investigation is going to be launched, if the secret society wasn't trying to pull a fast one on us, that guy's going to find himself under investigation. And then we're talking about apprehend the criminals. Look, if Derek James wasn't someone out here involved in the nonsense, Al Heyman wasn't involved in the nonsense, if the commission, the judges, the secret society, these doctors, a doctor or whoever hell he was talking about, that allowed this fight to take place based on allowing Spence to pass the physical, let me tell you something. If there was no foul play, the criminal is going to be this medical expert that came on this channel and was saying these things. Because let me tell you something. He was emphatically saying things like it was like he was talking facts. Like he had a Timberland and books and was kicking knowledge. And I'm telling you, You see a lot of people taking a story and running with it. I've done some videos. I'll keep doing videos. But I'm going to tell you, take it with a grain of salt. My thing is, what if this guy is wrong? Now, don't get me wrong. We all watched that fight, and we all felt like, okay, Crawford's a bad boy. Spence didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? I think it had a lot to do with Crawford's jab and what he was doing. But I do feel that there was a lot of scar tissue and a lot of damage to Spence that no one else in those 2 fights he's had since the car accident, that no one's been able to kind of exacerbate. And I think Crawford, what he did by touching up Spence the way he did, was able to show like, oh, he was damaged badly as a result of the car accident. And now you're seeing that scar tissue starting to be re-injured and things starting to open up because that scar tissue is not as durable, and it is more compromised than the original tissue. It's just like going out there and breaking your leg, you know what I'm saying? Your leg may heal, but still, you had a break in there before, you know what I mean? Probably a little easier to break it again, opposed to just getting like a slight fracture, which is still a break, but a fracture is a little bit different, you know? But I really want to hear more from Errol Spence's side, his team side, Al Heyman, the commission, the boxing commission, who licensed the fight, the doctor who allowed him to pass the physical. Let me tell you, this right here could snowball into something huge, right? I'm not going to take what that doctor said and just create a narrative and run with it. No, you know me, man. We sit here, we have conversations. I don't know everything. I give my opinion on a lot of stuff. If you guys want somebody who's going to give you facts when it comes to boxing, these content creators, yo, good luck with that. Even when it comes to these guys who are the boxers or the promoters or anyone involved, good luck with that. The only thing that knows the truth is the damn fly in the wall. And that, I don't even want that damn thing in this house because I don't like no flies in my house. So I'll never get the raw and uncut truth about what goes on behind the scenes in boxing. But what I will tell you is you better believe this. This is, remember, I ain't just your normal guy with no damn boxing channel, man. You know what I mean? I'm a retired dude. Don't let all this long hair fool you. All right? With me and my background, let me tell you something. You know, you sit back when somebody starts talking and saying those kind of things, making those kind of accusations, right? When somebody's saying that kind of stuff, you know what you do? You shut up and you listen. You let them talk. And as they talk, you feed them rope. Give them that rope. Let them keep talking. You understand? Now, if they're telling the truth, all good. If not, you're going to come back to home. Okay? And I'm very concerned. Because, man, if it's true that Spence knew, his dad knew, Derek James and his whole team knew, Al Heyman knew, the commission knew, the doctors knew, and everyone else involved in addition to the secret society, right? If it comes out that it's a fact that everyone knew that this man wasn't fit to be in a boxing ring, especially fighting a monster like Crawford, I got to say foul. And this isn't just a case where I say, and you know, like my phrase, you know, where I kindly request in the most respectful way that you hold your horses and not take it to the stupid. This is taking it beyond the stupid. You know what I mean? But I get it. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something, right? Anything's possible. We want to talk. I need to save what I'm about to say for another video. But I want to wait to find out what exactly is going on and try to hear from Errol Spence. I'm sure he'll put something out on Twitter basically debunking what this doctor's saying. But what I'll say is, after he says that, what I'm going to do is talk about what Errol Spence says, because he's going to post something. I'm sure he's already seen or heard this interview with this doctor. I'm sure he already heard it. But I'll sit there and wrap that up with Deontay Wilder. Remember Deontay Wilder? He got whatever happened to him with Tyson Fury in the first 3 fights, right? But that second fight in particular, when he was getting a lot of pressure, like going into that third fight, like, hey, if Tyson Fury cheated, if you have proof, if you know there was foul play, Mark Breland, secret society, Kinahan, why didn't you sue? And what Deontay Wilder say? He ain't messing up his money. He rather fight, make the money, and then take justice into his own hands and basically try to beat Tyson Fury to death in the boxing ring and get away with it legally. But the number one motivating factor for Deontay Wilder to get in that ring, right, was money. Everyone around him, everything is money. So when it comes to Errol Spence, right? Now remember, I'm going to wait to see what he has to say. I'm going to tie that conversation in and say, hey, was it money that caused him to really risk his health against the damn honey badger like Crawford? Because if that's the case, you know, I understand the ability to go out there and make 20, 30 million, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 million, 100 million. I get it. But man, you go out there and get yourself killed. Something happens and now you end up a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, kind of having your life cut short or whatever, man. You know, it's just not worth it, okay? But for me, I think this is what needs to be talked about now. This doctor, why he said what he said, and does he have an agenda? You know what I'm saying? This channel that posted it, who are they? You know, how out of all the boxing channels, right? All the boxing channels out here on YouTube, how do these guys get a medical expert to come on their channel and say the things that they said? You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Even with me, and with my background, right? There's some things I'm not going to say unless I know that definitively. And when we're just having a conversation, I say, hey, I don't know none of this to be a fact, but let's just have a conversation. But when you are in a medical profession, run the risk of losing your license and everything. That's what that guy put on the line. So it makes me wonder, what's the legitimacy of this so-called medical expert to basically risk his license? If it can sound like it's a doctor, risk his license and ability to practice medicine by making these irresponsible statements, unless they're true. That being said, I'm going to bed. We're going to pick up tomorrow. I'm telling you, I'm on this now. I apologize for not bringing up, I like to talk about boxers from all over the world. I like to do videos on all kind of stuff. I'm not like these mainstream channels, man, who the same topic every day. But this right here, because it's kind of personal with me, because when I was watching Errol Spence get beat like that, even though I had picked Crawford, at some point to just, start to counter and just expose and exploit the openings of vulnerabilities, right, of Errol Spence. And mess with my energy to see him get beat like that. Like, it's like when I was watching Deontay Wilder fight, I was like, yo, stop it. Like, I felt like Deontay Wilder was going to get killed. And when I was watching Errol Spence in there, I felt like Terrence Crawford was going to kill him. But I also felt like Terrence Crawford eased up on him because he recognized that there's nothing Errol Spence can do to win this fight. But, so for me now, I got my eye on this because you got a doctor coming out. No doctor came out and spoke on behalf of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder supposedly had this dent in his head and x-rays showing there's a dent in his skull and all that. What happened to all that? Ain't no doctor come out and confirmed or said nothing. They didn't even do an interview saying nothing like that. There's nothing like that happened. Okay? But for Errol Spence, all of a sudden, a couple of days after, boom, this guy comes out. Let me tell you something. Let's just wait and see, but you just don't know with some of these content creators if they're giving us the truth or if they're just out here trying to get clicks, because that video is blowing up. That video is blowing up right now. I'm talking about, the whole world's talking about it. There's even people who don't even follow boxing who've created shorts, YouTube shorts, on what that doctor said. There's guys out here taking the content and showing it on their channel, which they may get a copyright strike for that crap, but That stuff they said, because this is a hot topic right now. That fight was a huge fight. Everybody wants to talk about it, and everyone's concerned about Errol Spence. And then all of a sudden, this doctor just decides to come out here a couple of days later. Oh, my wife was like, hey, you need to look at this. That's what he said. His wife told him to take a look at it. So you sitting there at home, and your wife is telling you to come and look at this, and now you come and look, and I'm like, oh yeah, you can see he has signs of X, Y, and Z. When I tell you, man, I'm a common sense man. You understand? West Indian background. Listen a whole lot, talk very little. Common sense. I'm telling y'all something don't make sense here. All right? Hopefully you hung around to the end of the video. I'm telling you, something doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, let's see how this plays out. Because if there's truth to it, foul on everyone involved for letting that man get in that ring. But if there's no truth to it, foul on these fools chasing clicks, because it's going to come back to bite them. And I hope Errol Spence and his team and everyone who was involved, and it was all fair play, I hope they go at these guys 100%, because that ain't cool, man. But I don't know. I'm just having a conversation. Let's wait and see how it plays out, because the investigation needs to be launched no matter what direction things are going, and they need to apprehend the criminals. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Time for me to go to bed, man. In the breeze.